top. The goal difference is a factor with Wellington Phoenix, but they are well and truly in that hunt for the elusive premiership. So we take a look at these sides. Michelle Heyman, all smiles. Sydney FC, they've got a new kit there. It's their second ever Pride kit that they are unveiling, so really enjoying that, liking the colourway. Everyone seeming very, very relaxed down at Leichhardt Oval. It is a big game for both teams. Sydney FC trying to build a little bit of positive momentum, and for Canberra United trying to continue up with those teams a little bit above them, making sure to kind of grow some distance with those bottom sides that are very, very close to the top six themselves. If you take a look at the lineup, it's James Silvesky's second ever squad, and he's going to make 5 big changes to this team. Jodie Ukekal, Ruby Sullivan, Kaylee Talon-Henniker, Bianca Galich all come in. 16-year-old Claire Corbett gets her first ever start in the competition. So that sees Riley Tanner, Abby Lemon and Abby Luchtmeyer all head to the bench. And there is 15-year-old Claire Corbett. She's all smiles, and I don't know what, they've stitched her up a little bit with her mascot being a little bit taller than her, but Corbett, 15-year-old midfield / attacker. She's such a dynamic force there, trying to spark a little bit of life into this team. You can imagine all the smiles for her family as well to get her first ever start in this competition. And for Canberra United, well, they're going to stick with the things that have worked for them. It's the first time that Anthony Jagrenek has had a full squad available to him this season, so he keeps the same starting 11. The only change he makes on the bench, Sienna Dale comes in and Chiara Di Domizio heads out of the matchday squad. And life has been all smiles for Sasha Grove since she went back to her hometown club in Canberra United. 3 goals this season, 1 assist. Only Michelle Heyman in this team has more goals than her. She's been such an attacking threat, and in the fullback position she can create attacking-wise, can cross the ball in, cut inside. She's such a dynamic force. Will she be able to do that in this game? And for James Silvesky, he needs to turn things around for this team. They're so used to being at the top of the league table, competing for titles. It's not where they are this season. It's not where they want to be as a club. But he is an interim manager. Needs to figure some things out, and he's changed a lot to try and get some of those answers. Referee for today's game, Michaela Ryan, Maggie Price and Delphina Shakespeare are the assistants, and 4th official, Mia Valradi. This man on the Canberra United touchline, he is all smiles. He doesn't look it right now, but he's certainly pleased with the way his team have been going this year. He certainly believes they deserve to be where they are. It hasn't been by luck. They've changed a little bit of the way they play. They're taking a little bit more possession. But he wants to see one little bit change. He wants them to score more goals. They're creating the chances. They've got the most shots in the competition. They're not finding the net as often as they would have liked. So can they do that in this game against the Sydney FC side, who can be quite leaky in terms of defensively for themselves? The Sky Blue, they are at home. You know, the Cove will be out there to support them. And a chance to kind of create new dynamics on the park. It is, with the coach leaving in Ante Juric, is a chance to change things. Weather looking a little bit gloomy. Overcast, 26. Light rain there as well, so that could be a factor later in this game. But fresh start for everybody. Round 16 of the Ninja A-League competition. Michelle Heyman and Canberra United will get us going. And we are underway at Leichhardt Oval. And a perfect time for me to introduce my co-commentator today, Alicia Ferguson. Ish, it's a big game, but I'll get back to it. Canberra United straight into the attack. Michelle Heyman, she gets a chance. And that shot saved. Hayley Taylor-Young, the first strike for Canberra United, deflected with that quick side. Sasha Grove immediately into the action. Alicia Ferguson, what a start.
Great start. It's what we've seen from Sasha Grove down that right-hand side so many times, really doing that penetrative run on the right, a great ball in, and a really strong start from Canberra United.
You're going to see a lot of that in this game. A threat on the wings, and they've got that target player in Michelle Heyman. But on the other side for Sydney FC, James Slaveski, he's made a lot of changes. 5 changes is a lot for an interim coach to come in to do that. What do you think is the reasoning and the thinking behind doing that?
He's just got to try and find a winning combination, Pakua. They've been winless in 10 games, got a few draws, but I think that goal difference of -11 is really concerning. So how do you change that around? It's trying to find the right combination. Ante Juric wasn't able to for most of the season, and which is why they're on the bottom of the table.
Talk about that goal difference. They are the only team in the competition without double-digit figures. We're in round 16. They've only scored 9 goals all season. That is a terrifying statistic to look at.
Yeah, and one that we're just not familiar with Sydney FC. They've historically been really strong defensively and had amazing attacking players, which is why they've always been at the top of the table.
Gordon, Grove on the outside, immediately looks for that pass. Looked like that cross was a little bit deflected. Hawkesby trying to bring it out. Taylor Young able to pick off that run. Imagine that Canberra will have a lot of possession in this game. Try and shift Sydney out of their defensive structure. Heyman leaving it for Gordon, but Hawkesby's done well to track back. Grove. Gordon. And eventually Sydney able to win it back. So Hawkesby wants to move it quickly, and that pass evades everybody. Clever touch from Taylor Young to escape the defender. Hawkins. Off the feet. Bertolicio. And the sprinklers have started to join the party. I heard it was a little bit of light rain. They said, "We are the rain factor." That is not what you're after, a little bit of technical difficulties early in this game.
No, especially not when they were pushing forward. I mean, really positive play again. Taylor Young on this left-hand side. Sasaki trying to play that ball into Michelle Heyman as the sprinklers pop on in the background. Someone's obviously accidentally flicked the switch or the timings. Did anyone notify the grounds people there was a game on today?
Trying to be a new line of defence for Sydney FC. Michelle Heyman was not pleased. They were in a really good, a threatening position there.
That's it. 3 at the back, including the sprinklers. Yeah, I mean, just talking about the strengths of Canberra United. Taylor Young on that left-hand side and Sasha Grove have been so great at being those really attack-minded defenders, having that freedom to push really far forward and join in for those overloads in wide areas.
Absolutely, and it's a great opportunity with the sprinklers all working to have a look at this Sydney FC kit, really focusing on inclusivity. It's another pride kit. How important is that for this competition to highlight that kind of cause?
Well, it's a beautiful kit, and I don't think not just this competition, Pakua, but for our sport as a whole. I think there's plenty of support for the LGBTQIA plus community, and we know that there are a lot of out women's players. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen on the men's side of things, and it's something that we need to keep advocating for, keep supporting, keep making sure that football is accessible to all, that there is that visibility and people feel comfortable, no matter who they love, coming to a game and enjoying the football.
Absolutely, and it's great to see a club like Sydney FC, one of the big clubs in this league, really highlighting that, making that a major focus for them. And you know what, got to give them extra points, because that kit, I'm enjoying it. I'm liking the way they've designed it. I want to know who the inspo is to give a little bit of credit.
Yeah, it's a beautiful kit, and it's a wonderful message and a show of support for the community. And I think, you know, something that our game needs to continue working on. We need to keep talking about it. We need to keep ensuring that we're calling out any of that bad behaviour.
Certainly. Now, it does look like the sprinklers have decided to duck away. Now, hopefully they go into like a winter hibernation so we don't see them for the rest of the game. But it'll be interesting. And I'm sure they might chat about it on Dub Zone this week. Ish, you've been on Dub Zone a few times. You a fan? You enjoy going on there?
Yeah, love chatting about the game. Obviously, it gives us a little bit more time to break things down outside of the 90 minutes when we're covering the matches. This will be interesting. This is a dangerous position, drop ball, and it looks like Sydney FC are going to allow Michelle Heyman to regain possession in what is a very promising position right in the middle of the goal.
Will Heyman go straight for the shot? You can see very eager Sydney FC players. Heyman playing immediately out wide to Grove. Touch is a little bit loose. So not getting the initial attempt in, but the cross goes in anyway, headed goalward. Just wide. That effort from, I believe it was Emma Hawkins.
It was a lovely ball out to Sasha Grove, and then that ball just tucked back in for the header by Hawkins. I mean, Heather Hiddens has been epic for Sydney FC in goal. I thought she was going to come out, get that punch, but all credit to Hawkins, who was managed to out-jump her.
Certainly. Kirsty Fenton out wide. This is really her first full season back after that ACL injury, so it's great to see Kirsty Fenton back. Was part of those championship and premiership winning Sydney FC sides.
Yeah, the big question now is how do they get back to that position? It's been a pretty tough fall from grace for Sydney FC, and obviously a lot of change with Ante Juric departing the club, James Sylvesky coming in to look after the team in an interim capacity. But how do they build that depth and get back to winning ways? And that's not just on a game-by-game basis, but how do they get back towards the top of the ladder?
That's what they need to do, and that's why they need to find those answers. Robert, so Hawkins playing it out. Grove continuing that run. It might fall nicely here for Hayley Taylor-Young. Cutting it across. Grove finding herself in the box once again. A great save. With Heather Hinds. Sasha Grove, she's everywhere.
Well, I love this about Sasha Grove's movement. I thought Taylor-Young could have had a strike on the ball. Sasha Grove continues to just come inside when she needs to, when she wants to find the ball. She scored a lovely goal against Melbourne Victory and a great shot on target.
Shelby Robers with set-piece duties. High, deep ball, and an easy grab in the end.
Just back to Sasha Grove and how dangerous that is for having the freedom as a defender to be able to push really high up the pitch and even go a little bit further inside to try and see if you can make things happen. I think she's been doing that wonderfully well for United as well.
Sullivan, brought down, but immediately won back. Heyman, can she get it unstuck from her feet? She could, but it'll be another corner. Robers once again. Immediately we see players crowding goalkeeper, not allowing them any space, so they get a free run at it. Playing short this time, Sasaki. Back to Robers, now looping it high in the air. Takes a deflection off a few. Heyman. And Sydney tried to work it out, and that was an ambitious effort, to say the least.
Yeah, good different corner from Canberra United. I tend to think that a lot of the teams this season for the set pieces, particularly corners, have just been really crowding the keeper, trying to either play it right on top of the keeper's head or to the far post for a knockback. But they tried to play it a little bit further out just so that picture changed, and so Sydney FC came a little bit further out towards the 6-yard box, which can sometimes leave that space in behind.
Casa. Pass a little bit short, and Canberra able to capitalise and win themselves a free kick.
Yeah, plenty of numbers around the ball as well for Canberra. There was 4 players around the ball trying to win that ball back from Casa. Able to win the free kick and break a bit of the pressure from Sydney FC.
Played out wide. Taylor-Young able to chase it down. A touch bringing her a little bit further inside. That's a good cross. Just too tall, but a fall to Sasha Grove, who takes a strike and takes a deflection as well. They're putting early pressure on Canberra United.
And that was a quality ball into Taylor-Young on this left-hand side. Beautiful diagonal ball. I like the fact that if it's on and you can play direct, play it. And then Sasha Grove following up on that far post from her defensive position. Really good attacking play from Canberra United.
Robers once again. A lot of numbers deep in the box. It goes more to the penalty spot. Sasaki just loops it back into there. And offside flag eventually going up.
Canberra United, you can just see this statement of intent, how many players they're pushing on, willing Sydney FC to try and play it out from the back so they can implement a high press.
We'll bring it down for the moment, and immediately surrounded was Josie Olasino. Saw Heyman centrally, but was crowded by those two centre-backs. Galich trying to chip it over and ask for the run of Jodie Ukekul, who's back in the squad today. And good pressure applied that time by Galich on Gordon. Comes to no reward. Canberra immediately regaining possession as they've done for most of this game, and that's lovely into the path of Heyman. The quick off her line was Hins. And cross back in. Taylor Young out on the far side once again. Gordon. Taylor Young. Sydney able just to push them back for the moment. Bertolicio now. Having a lot of luck out wide. Not getting a lot of distance on their clearances, Sydney, at the moment. So Canberra able to recycle and continue, and Grove and Heyman linking up. Seen that so many times this season. Cutting it back across, and Gordon, a free shot on goal. And the cartwheels are coming out. Fantastically worked by Canberra United. They've been applying the pressure early in this game, and Gordon all by herself on that far side, able to beat the Sydney defence.
Well, it was just all too easy on that right-hand side. Talon Henniker went with Sasha Grove, tried to close her down, but then just ball watched. The ball went to Michelle Heyman. She didn't even know where Sasha Grove was, allowing her to get into a good position, kept the ball on the deck in that dangerous channel of the 6-yard box. But Talon Henniker really needs to do better there. Just caught ball watching as Sasha Grove goes past her, and Beth Gordon with an easy finish at the far post.
Celebration to match. I like it. Taylor Young, Gordon, 10 out of 10 for the cartwheels. I like it.
Yeah, it was impressive right in the 6-yard box as well. They did it right in front of the goalkeeper just to really shove it in their face that they scored a goal.
Did not matter how much space they were going to be provided. They were definitely bringing out the cartwheel. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm all for really inventive goal celebrations.
It's one of the best we've seen. Tumeth. Sullivan. And they get an immediate response. They get an opportunity with this corner.
Well, they haven't had too much of the possession in Canberra United's half, so I think things like set pieces for this period of the game, for this first 45 minutes, is going to be really important for Sydney.
Hawksby. That's putting the keeper under pressure, but cleared away by James. It'll fall to Asen. Casa. Asking a lot here of Corbett, but she's able to keep it in play. Will she hug that touchline? And she will, and get her side a corner.
That was clever play from Claire Corbett. Just trying to jink and get to that byline, try and cut that ball back across. It was good defending in the end.
Hawksby. This one to the near post. Tangled amongst a few feet, but able to clear it away. And Grove, she's done well to spin away. She's got an option in the middle in Hawkins, but she's just going to hold her run for the moment. That ball deflected in. Sydney avert danger, and then they're running into each other. This is not cohesive at all from Sydney FC. that run, and it's chaotic. And they'll get a corner, Canberra, but Sydney, they are playing with fire.
They certainly are, Pekua. They just look really disorganised. There's players following the ball, players not watching where the Canberra United players are running. They're all out of shape in there. They really need to get that sorted. Otherwise, Canberra will just keep playing past them. The little 1-2s are too easy when you get caught ball watching.
Rovers high in the air once again. It was a big rise from Tegan Bertolicio, but couldn't make any contact. It's interesting. I want to bring up this defence. You talk about they've looked a little bit disjointed very early in this game. You think about this Sydney FC team defensively. It used to have Nat Tobin, who's having a baby. I'll come back to that because Sydney have given the ball away. Heyman lets it roll, and then that effort from Olasino. It's going to be a goal kick, but you try to speak about the Sydney defence and then something else comes up.
Well, just a poor pass out by Heather Hinds into Asen, and then it's just calamitous, isn't it, Pekua? They're saying that Hinds got a little touch on it from Olasino, but it's those things, like, first and foremost, you need to fix those. That quality.
Grove. Once again, this right-hand side has proved to be very, very exciting for Canberra. A lot of chances coming there. Galich, Sullivan, and asking a lot. And Canberra will give it back, but the point I was making is Nat Tobin not in this team, she's having a baby, so congrats to Nat Tobin. Look at that passing accuracy, 85.2 Canberra, 67.4 Sydney FC. That is a gulf of difference between those two sides. And clinical. Charlotte McLean, not at this club anymore. Kirsty Fenton is obviously still in this team, but she's coming back from that ACL injury. Jumeth is a mainstay in this team, but they were the defensive stalwarts in this side. They're no longer there, and they're in trouble again. Hawkins, that's really exciting cross in that they're constantly getting it in the box, but it only falls out to Sasha Grove. Sasaki. His back heels are coming out, driving, and just nudged off the ball. Shouts for a free kick, penalty. Not given.
Well, to her credit, I think Olasino did go down and didn't call for it. You can always tell, I think, by the reaction of the players, whether they really think that it's a penalty or not in the end. Well, there was a little nudge there, but Bianca Garlich, I mean, there wasn't too many appeals for that penalty. But what you're seeing is a team, Sydney FC, who are really low on confidence, and a team in Canberra United who are really high on confidence. You can see even just the movement patterns. It's not just the first phase of play that's concerning for Sydney FC defensively.
Heyman not able to keep it in. And just, a goal kick.
And just to finish that point, it's not the first phase of play, then it's the second, and sometimes if it gets to it, the third phase of play. And that's what happens. James Slaveski has made 5 changes. He's trying to find the right combinations. He's trying to work out ways for this team to turn things around for the season. But from what we've seen in the first 20 minutes, it's not working, and something needs to change. All credit to Canberra United, who look up for it, don't they? They understand their strengths in those wide areas, with Taylor Young on the left and Sasha Grove on the right, and they just keep peppering those wide areas and are getting a lot of success.
Looked for a moment that Heyman was getting, not Heyman, Hawkins was just getting dragged down, but no free kick. So referee Michaela Ryan letting a lot go.
It was a lovely ball from Sasaki and an absolute free kick for me. You could see the little pull on the jersey as well as she was turned around.
Decent, trying to give her side a breather. Canberra clearly have seen that Sydney FC are a very wounded team, and they're not going to give them any time in this game to settle it all. They are making it very uncomfortable, and so much space in this midfield. Once again, Sasaki. And that pass, one of the few in this game that haven't gone the way of Canberra.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass from Sasaki. Wonderful. And I think that was Tori Tumas lucky to get away with that. I think she was through on goal. Maybe there was a fair bit of weight on the pass from Sasaki. But it was a definite foul in the first place. But yeah, back to your point, the distances between the players for Sydney FC, they're not, it seems like they're not quite cohesive in whether they're going to press or whether they're going to hold back and employ maybe a mid-block and just hold their shape. But at the moment, there's a lot of space in there and a lot of gaps for Canberra United to exploit.
Grove to Robers. Gordon, the goal scorer. Back to Grove. Got the first step. Can she get the pass across? Well saved by Heather Hinds. Another corner.
She's on fire, isn't she? Sasha Grove, just not just her movement, but love this run. Really decisive, getting into that half space position, which is so dangerous to defend, and giving Talon Henniker a real headache.
Need to do a lot of defending for a forward. Kaylee Talon Henniker. This one is a penalty spot area once again. Olasino tries to send it back, but it'll only go as far as Ace, and all she can do is clear it. But there are no numbers there, so we'll come back once again. More pressure from Canberra United, just building and building and really trying to break the wheel of this Sydney FC team.
Yeah, I think the challenge as well for Sydney FC is really trying to keep possession once they do break out of the pressure. They played a couple of balls longer, but Jodie Ukekal hasn't really been anywhere to be seen. And I think that's also a challenge. If you don't have a focal point, Canberra United have Michelle Heyman, right? You can break out of that pressure. You can play a bit more direct. You know that she's going to hold the ball up. At the moment, Sydney FC don't seem to be able to find Jodie Ukekal or don't have that option available to them.
It'll be Bethany Gordon, who will take this free kick. Numbers there, and it's only Sky Blue that were in the area, but it'll fall out to Olasino, who takes a strike that's well wide.
Well, another show of confidence from Olasino. Just you can see that the Canberra United players, they're on the front foot, they're up for this. Let's just see what Sydney FC decide to do. They still want to try and play it out from the back.
Fenton, Mason. Press applied, and eventually they get out for the moment. Kassar, Talon Henniker, first time she's got the ball in this attacking half, trying to find space to drive into. Galich, Ukekal, Galich. And offside, and we're building there. That's probably one of the more positive passages of play that we've seen from Sydney in this game.
Yeah, far more positive. When they get the ball, play it, get the ball, play it. Don't overthink things too much. Just make sure that the player on the ball has at least 2 to 3 options to play and keep that ball moving and switch the point of attack. A bit frustrating that Ruby Sullivan can see across that Canberra United defensive line and still found herself offside, but I mean, that's a concerning stat as well, 18 final third entries. It's tiring having to defend for long periods of time, particularly when you're not getting too much success at the other end of the field.
Talon Henniker, and broken up by Sasha Grove. Robers. Heyman holding and giving time for Canberra to just work their way out. Sally James, a very quiet afternoon so far. That corner really that she had to be mindful of, but picked off. Ukekal, and offside once again.
That was lovely vision from Claire Corbett, just to try and slip that pass in to Jodie Ukekal.
James, headed on by Hawkins. This is the first time we're really getting an opportunity to see Sydney try and settle to see if they can work their way through. Tumeth. Kassar and Sullivan's pass into the feet of Taylor Young. Fenton. They would have nudged off Grove, but they used their numbers well. Sasaki. Robers. That one's a little bit loose from Canberra.
Yeah, just having a look at how Sydney are setting up. Tori Tumeth and even Kirsty Fenton are staying reasonably narrow, whether they're trying to make, protect the middle of the field, but also create overloads if they can step into midfield. But Kirsty Fenton, when she received that ball, she was facing back towards her own goal, tried to drive in and then lost possession, which leaves a big gaping hole on that right-hand side where we know Sasha Grove can be so dangerous. So just something I think I'm going to keep an eye on, just to have a look at how they're trying to work through the thirds, progress the ball forward for Sydney FC, because it still seems, there's not a real definitive style of play at the moment for them.
Galich able to evade Heyman. Tumeth, as you mentioned, each was quite narrow just then. Forced a little wider now with that pass. Asen. Hawksby. And there's that man marking, really, just immediately that press applied.
Well, it was a good press by Canberra United, but I think that was a poor ball from Kirsty Fenton. I mean, Kassar had Sasaki right behind her. She's facing back towards goal. There was an option to play Claire Corbett on her left-hand side. I feel like just what you need to do is simplify the game. When you're not playing that well, when your passing accuracy and ability to keep possession isn't working and isn't great, then just play the simple ball. Just get it back.
Hawkins. Taylor Young was free in the box, but that passed a bit behind and cleared eventually. Into space they go. Lucino. Taylor Young. And that pass will just dribble into the hands of Heather Hinds. Robers thought about going forward, but just elected to turn back and give them the side a chance to reset. Taylor Young redirects that header forward. Tumeth, back they go as well. And that is very, very clear. That matches the eye test, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah, absolutely. As we say, like, when Sydney FC do win possession back again, it's what they're doing with it, and they're finding it really difficult to progress it into the Canberra United half, progress the ball forward. There's not too many options for them, and they're not able to find the options that they do have.
Looks to be maybe Sullivan. Sullivan right on the ground, just getting a little bit of treatment. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, ball straight into the face. She went down pretty quickly. Ruby Sullivan wasn't expecting it.
friendly fire as well from a teammate. But this provides a great opportunity for both these coaches to just have a quick chat. What do you think that James Slaveski's trying to maybe reiterate to this team to try and just settle them before they head into that halftime break?
Well, there's a lot of gesturing from James Slaveski. I think the centre of the park and those wide areas, I mean, there's a lot to address in there. I think there's so much space in those wide areas, and even just the simple things like we said, you know, like quality of passing. Play it to the right side of your teammate. Play it away from the defender. Play the simple pass. Just play it to one of your teammates and get it back again, and the picture will change. Rather than trying to overthink it, I think a couple of times down mainly that left-hand side where they've been able to come out, switch the point of attack, they look a lot better. But credit to Canberra as well. They know that this is a team under pressure. They know that this is a team who are struggling for confidence, are trying to get their first win in 10 games. So they're pressing high. They're getting tight to the players and really asking questions of them.
Tumeth will get play restarted. Look at that. Total shots 9-0. 30 minutes into this game for Sydney FC, and they've only had 2 touches in the opposition box as well. So it's not just the lack of shots, it's lack of opportunity to really take those strikes. That ball ran a little bit long. And Sydney, chance to counter. Kassa. Ukekel out wide. Found the gap, and that effort lacked real power.
Yeah, and Tori Tumeth had pushed on, tried to join in the attacking play there. Ukekel decided to try and build a bit of confidence, get a shot on target, see if Sally James is still switched on at the back there. She hasn't had a lot to do.
Mason able to head it away before that run was made. Talon Hanika straight into the feet of Gordon. Robers. It's been a great time for Emma Robers since coming to Canberra United. Was originally with Western United, and a lot in the midfield, would occasionally come off the bench and things like that. But ever since moving to Canberra, she was in that midfield, kind of a lock there, but they've kind of changed it up for her, put her into a more defensive role as one of their key defenders, and she's done a great job for them. Very solid, reliable player there.
Yeah, I think both Robers and Anton in those central positions have been really crucial for United.
Dangerous delivery. Falls to Grove, as it's done all game, and a driving effort. Straight into the hands of Heather Hinds.
Yeah, Bianca Garlich getting back to that far post as that ball comes over. Talon Hanika dropping in a little bit more. They've got Sydney FC, those 3 centre-backs really, with Tumeth, Asen and Fenton. But those 2 wing-backs still probably not being employed as well as they could at the moment.
Corbett. Felt like she was fouled, and she's down on the ground for the moment. Hawkins gets on the opposite side of Tumeth, and just enough time for Hinds just to come across. Hawkins almost had Tumeth on the wrong side.
Yeah, just a little clip it looked like. Orchid had nothing in it really. Beth Gordon not meaning to do it. Maybe just caught the back of the Achilles, which can be quite painful. Not a lot of padding there. But again, giving the ball away in those areas, which makes for a very good transition, an easy transition for Canberra United.
So right now, as the ladder stands, Canberra United moved up into 3rd spot. This 1-goal advantage, and spoiler alert if you are going to watch the other game that is on right now, Brisbane Roar taking on Melbourne City. Brisbane Roar 2-0 up against Melbourne City right now. So Brisbane Roar have moved themselves to top of the table. As this cross is brought in, Asen able to head it high. Not far, but that second effort cleared only as far as Taylor Young. Sasaki. Gordon. Clever. Skips past Corbett. Heyman. Can she cut it across? Hawkins. Did well, found the space, but there was no green shirt of a Canberra player to attack the ball.
Yeah, they're getting a fair bit of joy down that right-hand side, Canberra United. Some really nice combination play, lovely overlapping runs, underlapping runs, real freedom of movement. Michelle Heyman getting into those wide areas as well. That's probably not where you want Michelle Heyman. You'd prefer her to stay more central, but yeah, I think Sydney FC, that's definitely, that side of the field is a real concern and something I think James Slavesky will need to address at half-time.
Sullivan. Rubers couldn't get it clean contact on that header. Sasaki all the way back to Sally James. But Alicio has to chase that down herself and like that back probably.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times Sally James has tried to play a bit more of a longer pass on this left-hand side and it's gone out, and I just wonder, Sasha Grove was on that right-hand side, whether she could have just let the ball come across her body and played it to her, because there was a lot of distance between Grove and Talon Henniker.
And the Canberra United bench not enjoying that call made by Michaela Ryan.
Michelle Heyman just doing the demonstration with Michaela Ryan. Well,
maybe a little unlucky.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I probably would have played on. I think she got a ball, body between the ball and Tori Toomuth. There was no one was pulling a jersey or anything like that. I think it was pretty fair contact from both sides. Michelle Heyman would definitely disagree with that from her reaction.
Hawkesby. James has to be mindful and she miscues it. Oh, Sally James has just mistimed it. Sydney FC, just like that, back in this game. From absolutely nowhere, their first touch in the box. And they get a goal. Not sure who got the final contact, but...
Well, you would have thought Sally James needed to come and claim that. She made contact with Anton. It was a lovely ball in by Mackenzie Hawkesby. It's almost like Anton kind of stopped the momentum of Sally James getting to the ball. What a goal against the run of play. And let's see how this, and if it can change the momentum for Sydney FC, whether it sparks something in them.
Absolutely. Madison Asen got the initial header. Not sure if it took a deflection on the way through, but she celebrated like it was hers. So it doesn't matter how the ball finds its way into the net. Sydney FC, that's a great way to build confidence in a game.
Yep, as we say, completely against the run of play, but you taking those opportunities. Michelle Heyman wasn't happy with that free kick. It was a lovely ball in by Mackenzie Hawkesby, and just the Canberra defence got it all muddled up.
I love that moment back. It really highlights us how important it is for teams to capitalise on the momentum they have, because things can change in an instant.
Yeah, and to your point, Anthony Jagarinek has spoken about being more clinical. We saw the stat before where it was 9 shots to 0 shots for Canberra. They've had the most shots in the competition so far, and that is crucial to start converting those chances into goals.
Grove, Heyman. Bertolicio chipping it into the box, and it misses Fenton. And coming across was Grove. Hins right behind it, saw it the whole way through. It was Bethany Gordon who was making that run.
Yeah, little dink into the box for Bertolicio. Oh, bouncing ball. Tell you what, they were pretty lucky there. Hins managed to take it eventually. She's been great in goal for Sydney FC, Heather Hins. Really just come up with some really big saves for them at crucial moments as well.
Great game between the sticks, and it was Tiana Robertson for a little while this season. It's been one of the things with Sydney, not only this season, as we see Olasino and Galich just getting tangled. Casa, Hawksby. Galich. Looking to be more decisive and aggressive going forward, Sydney. Corbett. That's clever, but well defended.
Great to see Tori Toomuth so far up the pitch, trying to join in the attacking play, create more overloads on that left-hand side, has that freedom to kind of go and find the ball.
Grove able to keep her feet, ride the challenge. Now it's a foot race and the ball beats everybody. Trying to move the ball quicker. Casa. Sullivan back to Casa. Kekel able to bring it down with her. Hawksby. Searching for the next pass. Talon Hennicutt, now her chance to go at Heyman. She turns and shoots, and too high and too wide.
Well, it's better play from Sydney FC. That goal's definitely sparked something in them. Just they're back in the game now. They can start trying to build an attack better. James Slavetsky on this right-hand side was really willing Ruby Sullivan to get higher up the pitch, to try and push on further to Taylor Young. And when that ball got switched to that left-hand side, Michelle Heyman was back in the defensive third, having to do defensive duties.
Taylor Young, that pass went in, Heyman went out. Galich. Sullivan is not able to keep it in play and find Kekel.
Yeah, probably a good opportunity for Canberra United just to soak up some minutes going into this half-time break.
James. Feel like about 10 minutes ago, Ish, if I'd asked you heading into halftime which team would be the happier, the answer would have been pretty simple, Canberra United, but with it all level, we'll come back to that thought though, with Grove driving as she's done all game, and Fenton miscuing that kick out for a corner.
Yeah, and I think they'll be frustrated to have conceded the goal in the manner that they did. However, there's still opportunities. That play on the right-hand side, Sasaki just drifting out into a wide area. Sasha Grove doing an underlapping run, trying to get another cross in, which results in a corner. There's still lots of positives that Canberra can take into the half-time break.
Robers playing it short. Hawkins back to Robers. Finding Gordon on the edge of the box. Olasino swung at it. Heyman. Gordon, driving effort. Locked off Tumeth. Grove. Gordon once again. Still got numbers high. Anson. Not usually here, but that's a great ball and a great save to deny Emma Hawkins. Beautiful delivery from Liz Anton, an even better save.
Well, what a wonderful ball in from Liz Anton. Look at that, to the far post. Emma Hawkins had a free header at the back. I mean, it was straight to Heather Hinds. Could have been maybe in a different area, but I mean, another wonderful attack. But I think the quality of their crosses has been really impressive for Canberra United, and there's so much variation in them. Sometimes they plan it across that 6-yard box. That one was dinked into the far post by Anton.
Talon Hennicutt. They poach one near the end of the first half. Spoke about those crosses from Canberra. Heading into this game, they had the highest cross success rate of any team in the competition, so it's no surprise with the players they have delivering them into the box. It was oh so close to restoring that lead they had established.
Yeah, there's one thing getting yourself in a great position in those wide areas, and then there's the delivery of the cross. So that's not surprising to hear that Canberra United have actually had that success, because even from the first half of this game, the quality of the crosses has been really superb. Just need to get that finish, just need to get someone on the end of them now to convert those chances into goals.
Sasaki left them wondering, Heyman, can she get a goal? Another easy grab in the end from Heather Hinds, who's been very lively in this game and is a major part to the reason Sydney FC are level in this game.
Yeah, she's been really solid for Sydney FC. It might sound a little bit critical of Michelle Heyman there, but on her left foot, her non-preferred foot, maybe just a cut back across the goal. There was a couple of players following in that 6-yard area. I mean, she's a striker though, so her
Can't tell them to not shoot.
That's exactly right, which is why I think she'll probably be like, Ish, what are you talking about? Of course I'm going to shoot there.
4 minutes that have been added on to this first half. Almost halfway through it. James going long. Hawkins, heavy touch. Straight to Galich, now Casa. Blocked, but it'll stay with Sydney. Nice attacking third. Casa. Back to Ruby Sullivan. Bertolicio. That ball's taking a deflection into the box, and Robers is happy to watch it go out of play. Bertolicio launching it forward. Headed away by Asen. Robers. Not too far away now from that half-time whistle. Canberra United dominated so much of this first half, and then that poor error from that free kick has gifted Sydney a goal. They will happily take it. Maybe some questions about the initial call about it being a free kick. Well, Sydney, you're not going to complain about it, you'll take it.
No, absolutely not. Didn't think there was too much in the contact to begin with. I know Michelle Heyman was questioning the referee's call on it. I thought it was kind of fair contact. Neither player were using their arms. It was all kind of body-to-body contact. However, a bit of a mix-up between Anton and Sally James coming out and just running into Anton, and then not being able to get to the ball allowed Maddie Asen to get the header on target.
Both sides being level, being into the break. New fresh 45. Canberra, a lot of positives they want to take out of it for Sydney. A major positive of it being a goal and a chance to be better than what you have been for the majority of this half. And the break eventually comes with the whistle. Sydney FC, Canberra United, tight on the scoreline, maybe not as tight in terms of the play on the field. Lots for both coaches to discuss with their teams heading into the break. Madison Asen with the crucial goal for Sydney FC to bring them level after Beth Gordon initially got Canberra United the lead. But at half-time, it's Sydney FC 1, Canberra United 1. And Ish, Canberra United would be very pleased with the way they built up this goal.
Yeah, it was beautiful play. Sasha Grove really in good form. Nice little 1-2 around the corner, but question marks over Talon Henniker. Ball watching, not going with Sasha Grove. A lovely delivery across that 6-yard box. It's always so difficult, but really here, you can let the ball go past, you can let the player go past, you can't let both. But Sasha Grove just rolling that ball. Tori Toomuth not able to get enough on it. And Beth Gordon to finish. And the Canberra United roly-poly celebration. Would love to know where that came from.
Me too. I like it a lot. A great goal, Bethany Gordon, Michelle Heyman. certainly pleased with it. But this, a gift of a goal, really.
Yeah, it was definitely against the run of play. A lovely ball in. Mackenzie Hawkesby. Anton came from behind Maddie Asen to try and protect Sally James, and unfortunately got in her way, and Sally James wasn't able to punch the ball clear.
Is there anything, Ish, that surprises you there with that 13 shots, Canberra United?
Well, I think from the passing accuracy that was about 65% early in the game to 80-something% for Canberra United, Sydney FC have definitely improved. But yeah, total shots on goal 13. It's something that Canberra United have spoken about. They need to start converting those chances.
Well, it's been an entertaining first half of football at Leichhardt Oval. It's 1-0 at the break, and we'll be back for more action for the Ninja A-League.
EPL is committed to provide a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone and asking to respect the players and match officials by remaining within the CT goal. Say hello to the Ninja Slushy, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture every time. Just pour, slush, and enjoy. 5 one-cup programs for any drink you want. Enjoy perfect results. Transform almost anything with a Ninja Slushy. Get ready to cheer. Just like Liberty supports the A-Leagues, they're on your team too. Whether you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they can provide the assistance with your free thinking goals. Liberty. Loans for free interest. At Sydney FC, we stand for inclusion, and that's what Pride Cup is all about. Clubs that host a Pride game experience up to 50% less homophobic behavior on and off the field. Find out how your club can make a difference at pridecup.org.au. Power Potential is a proud partner of Sydney FC. Through physiotherapy, performance testing, and world-class recovery, Power Potential supports athletes to build strength, resilience, and confidence. Helping athletes reach their full potential on match day and beyond. Power Potential, supporting performance on and off the pitch. Today's match partner is Canberra Venues, the official event partner of Sydney FC. Say I do, and Canberra Venues have a chance to win one of 8 $5,000 wedding vouchers.
And welcome back here to Leichhardt Oval, where Sydney FC taking on Canberra United. It's 1-1. Looking ahead to the month of March, one of my favourite things coming up is the Women's Asian Cup. We sent our very own Nick Stoll to Perth to see the excitement building up in Perth ahead of the first game.
Well, it is 1 month to go until the Women's Asian Cup starts here on Perth soil. The very first game of the tournament, the Matildas up against the Philippines.
Go Matildas! Mabuhay! Well, one thing about it is it's in the best place in the world, and that's Western Australia. You couldn't get anything better than that.
Oh, it's incredible. It's, 60,000 people. Hopefully it's at Optus. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. We saw how good it was when the Matildas played the Philippines here last time. The sellout crowd, the noise the crowd generates with K-pop Demon Hunter here as well. It's puts Perth on the map.
As a player before I used to play, how well you played was really determined on how prepared you are. We are prepared. I will say we've delivered a tournament in 18 months instead of 14 years, but we're riding off the back of the love of the Matildas, so we've got good runs on the board.
It's not just Australia that's going to be here. There are 11 other nations that are going to come here to Perth.
So come to the stadium, get your ticket as soon as possible.
We already bought a ticket since last year, September. Every time the international game or the over east, and now it's in the Perth, and I'm very touched to us. And I wish everybody can come. I know Wednesday against to Japan, it's hard, but we will try. And everybody here, we all come to there. Nalu 1, Nalu 2, Nalu 3, 4, 5, Nalu 7, 11. Formosa!
Yeah! As you can see, this is a football city. People love it. The weather's fantastic. It's going to be an amazing tournament, and already 1 month out, people are excited here in Perth.
What a fantastic tournament that is going to be kicking off in Perth. Ish, you had a lot of fun at the Asian Cup before.
I certainly have. I played in one in 2006. We got to the final and lost to China on penalties, which was incredibly frustrating. And I was lucky enough to cover the 2010 Asian Cup from Chengdu for another broadcaster when we lifted the trophy. So I can't wait for this one. Another tournament on home soil, Pekua.
Certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing all of the action. A fantastic opportunity for everybody to see that. But taking a step away from this game, Melbourne City, Brisbane Roar taking on each other. Melbourne City 2-2 up, Ish. 2-0 up, and then came back to 2-all.
Well, I don't think Mires will want to see that again. She kind of fumbled that ball out and then gave Brisbane an opportunity. Well, I don't think Mires is having a great game. From this quick highlights, first time we've had a little look at it, but tried to play that ball straight through the middle. Fumbled for the first one, seeing Stevenson just smashing that ball into the bottom corner. I mean, I'm just sorry, as watching the highlights, and good delivery to that far post, Holly McNamara. Is that Rebecca Stott getting up for that little touch to get them back in the game? I mean, what a cracking first half this was.
It certainly is, and showing a lot of character. Melbourne City going 2-0 down at home to be level. Well, Holly McNamara, she's having a lot of fun, scoring a lot of goals this season. What a great finish that one was.
And that touch around the keeper was epic.
It certainly was. And we'll take a look at some of the goals we've seen here at Leichhardt Oval between Sydney FC and Canberra United. It was Canberra who took the early lead with Bethany Gordon.
Yeah, and it was a well-deserved lead. They'd pushed the ball out wide. Sasha Grove, who's in great form. Little 1-2 around the corner with Michelle Heyman. Question marks over Talon Henniker. Just ball watching there, not going with her player. And then a lovely ball snuck through Tori Toomuth. But this little 1-2 was lovely. And quality of delivery. Sasha Grove had to look up. Didn't try and hit it too hard. Tori Toomuth not able to get to it. And Bethany Gordon just a little tap in at the back post. And the roly-poly celebration.
This is how Sydney FC getting themselves back. A little bit of luck.
It was against the run of play. There was a free kick that was kind of questioned by Michelle Heyman, and Anton was just trying to get herself between Sally James and Maddie Asen, and unfortunately got in the way of Sally James and allowed Asen to nod that ball into the back of the net.
And Madison Asen, she will be hopefully one of those players we'll get to see in the Women's Asian Cup. You can catch all of that action, all games live and exclusive on Paramount+.
This isn't just a seat in the stands. It's your ticket to fearless ambition, to roar with crowds, for young fans to see heroes up close, to watch world-class skill, grit and grace. This isn't just a tournament. It's a celebration of what's possible when the world watches women rise. Get your ticket to dream. AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
Welcome back here at Leichhardt Oval. Sydney FC taking on Canberra United. 1-0 at the break. These fans certainly enjoying it. Enjoying the hot chips. It's a kind of a cold day. A little bit of an overcast. And they're excited. Michelle Heyman posters amongst all the Sydney fans as well. Who knew Michelle Heyman? Ish, very, very popular.
She's a player of the people, Picua, one of the legends of Australian football. Always plays with a smile on her face, loves giving her time to her kids. Sorry, to the kids, the fans.
We've got some half-time substitutions made by James Slaveski. Made 5 heading into this game. We're going to see Willa Pearson come on. We're going to see Sky Holmrich come on. And they will replace Amelia Casa and Ruby Sullivan. So, big changes. Trying to find a little bit more stability with this side. They're level at the break, so anybody's game. Looking to be better than what we initially saw from them in that first 45. There's Willa Pearson.
I mean, what a story that is. There's, what, 2 15-year-olds on the pitch for Sydney FC. I mean, it's just wonderful to see the next generation of talent coming through in the Ninja A-League.
Her first game, she didn't seem out of place at all. And we're underway in this second half at Leichhardt Oval. They are young players, but it's great to see them getting an opportunity if they're ready. As we see Corbin immediately get on the ball, the other 15-year-old. That's a poor touch. Immediate opportunity for Emma Robers. Got Hawkins through the middle as well as Bethany Gordon. And great defensive recovery from Corbett. And out for a goal kick. Oh no, will be a corner.
Yeah, a little touch from Claire Corbett. Robers getting in. Some good play, good transition play on that right-hand side.
And that one, Emma Robes would certainly like to have back.
Yeah, not the best delivery from Emma Robers. But let's see if so. Willa Pearson coming on this left-hand side. So Kaylee Talon-Henniker on the right-hand side, which is probably a good change for them to make. More defence-minded. Willa Pearson trying to maybe negate the attacking prowess of Sasha Grove and getting forward and allowing Talon-Henniker to actually be the attacker that she wants to be. She's playing as one of those win-backs, so defending is not her natural position. So it'll be interesting to see how Sydney FC go for this second half.
Yes, Kaylee Talon-Henniker had to do a lot with defending. We saw her involved in that first goal for Canberra United. Sasha Grove was just able to slip past her with relative ease ultimately. Grove. Gordon. Heavy bump there from to be Sky Holmrich. Taylor Young retreating, and that ball down the line, taking a deflection off Tori Tumeth.
Yeah, Helmerich making her presence known nice and early in the game. She's playing a little bit further forward. Jodie Keckles just sitting a little bit further back, kind of with Talon-Henniker on the right, Bianca Garlich and Claire Corbett with Mackenzie Hawkesby in there as well. So definitely trying to overload that midfield area and try and regain some possession that they weren't able to get in that first half.
See if those possession stats change and they can wrestle a little bit of control from Canberra, who would probably be a little bit disappointed. They didn't put more in the back of the net with all the possession and all the shots they had and all the chances they really created. Keckle on screen. Had to do a lot of fighting in the first half to try and get some touches. There's Asen just nudged off the ball by Hawkins, who's able to slip past. Can she get the ball across? She can, but Hawkesby in the way. Eventually cleared, but it will come back. Sasaki, a lot of space afforded to her. Heyman trying to continue that connection with Sasaki, but that pass intercepted.
And from that controlled possession towards the back, and Hawkesby trying to push on a little bit, and that allowed, there was a big gap in there for Sasaki to receive that ball, played into Heyman, and then nearly get the reverse pass.
Grove, this is better from Canberra, cutting it across, and Haints just dropping it, but able to recover.
Some really nice combination play again. And we talk about that delivery. Lovely little ball. Forward run by Olasino into that danger area in the near post. Hawkins was steaming in there, just couldn't get in front of Hins. She was able to collect it, or have a bit of contact by Hawkins with maybe a stray boot to the face.
Very brave ultimately, with so many people running into that space as a keeper. You're putting yourself at risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really challenging space to defend as well. Good delivery, striker steaming in. You've got to make a decision. Do you go for it? You know, strikers could then leave it, and then there's an ability for someone to finish it at the back post.
Anton. Sasaki. Grove just left it. I think that was intentional. Heyman driving it across. And Hawkins was right there, just couldn't make the contact. Ultimately, it was Kirsty Fenton who got the last touch. And will go out for a corner.
What a ball in. I mean, Sasaki, this is wonderful awareness. Sasha Grove knew that Michelle Heyman was making a run into that space. I think Emma Hawkins will be disappointed she wasn't able to get something on that. She went with her right foot. There was plenty of pace on it.
Sasaki. Robers, we've seen the short corner a few times. This is curling back. Taylor Young cleared for the moment. Talon Henniker. Corbett. Bethany Gordon able to mop it up for Canberra. Get it immediately back. Continue to apply the pressure. Get the second. Hawkins was never balanced with that shot.
No, Michelle Heyman was making just a nice little angled run where she was looking for a reverse pass, but Hawkins probably has had a couple of half chances, wanted to try and get herself on the score sheet, have a go herself, but not able to get that ball on target.
Saw that a lot in the first half where they'd be playing it out from the back ish, and then Canberra United would just come in and pick the ball off before it even reached the feet of a Sydney FC player. And they've done it once again here. Olasino, Robers, back to Olasino. Hawkins making the run. Was looking, trying to find the quick pass. Finds Grove. Heyman to the edge of the box. Sasaki. Bethany Gordon just losing control for the moment. And if you are watching this game, make sure tag us at Dub Zone on X, Instagram, wherever. Fantastic game of football. Want to know your thoughts. Where are you even watching it from? In sunny Newcastle. This is a chance here for Sydney FC. And wide, a beautiful opportunity for Jodie Ukekul. Should have got on target.
Had to put that on target. Tori Toomuth, we've seen her push forward numerous times, had time, had space, had plenty of opportunity to have a bit more composure, and I think that's probably the story of Sydney FC. You know, some good build-up play in that instance, but just no end product. And when you're not getting that many opportunities, you need to at least be testing Sally James in the Canberra United goal.
You just see as soon as the camera went to Jodie Ukekul, the disappointment. She knew that had to be better.
Yeah, and maybe just a little lack of awareness was watching the ball. You know, didn't realise how much time she had. She probably could have had another touch.
Grove. Trying to split the defenders. Does so for the moment, but loses a lot of ground. Corbett. First start ever in this competition for the 15-year-old. Getting on the ball a lot more in the second half. As Holmrich tries to switch it out wide. Ukekel instantly goes for the strike. I wonder, is that just a player who's just hungry to get on the board, and just any side, it's just shoot on sight, really?
Yeah. I don't think that was the right decision. I think Jodie Ukekel was pretty far out near that 18-yard box. It's a tight angle. She was coming around the ball. It's a tough technique to get right. She didn't have a lot of support. Claire Corbett was pushing on to try and get to her, but she probably could have just had a touch and waited for a bit more support from her teammates before having a strike on goal.
Hawkins has been lively in this game, switching sides constantly. A few good chances. Sasaki, Heyman, waiting for some runners, will go by herself. Not able to get past Tumith the first time. Searching, surveying the area. Sasaki. It's the feet of Gordon, who was immediately crowded out. And play's been stopped, so we're going to come back. And it's going to be a free kick to Canberra United. And Riley Tanner is making her way onto the park, well, two players around her. I'm not sure. Maybe Mackenzie Hawkesby with a bit of contact, her arms like on her shoulders. I think that was probably against Hawkesby in that instance. I don't think Beth Gordon really had control of the ball at any time, so maybe those were the questions that were being asked by Hawkesby to the referee. It's maybe a little bit unlucky. Well, this was relatively the same spot that Sydney FC scored from, and that one's a wasted opportunity. Didn't even get past the first player. Taylor Young, driving delivery. Heyman able to bring it down, waiting for some support. That pass deflected once again. Hawkins. That's clever. Taylor Young can cut it back. And Fenton, right place, right time. Bertolicio. Too clever in that instance. Hawkesby. Can she keep it in play? She can. And eventually rolls out of play.
More good little combination play in that final third from Canberra United. Always trying to look for those nice little 1-2s, then cut that ball back. Molicino was lurking with intent around that 6-yard box. It was good defending in the end by Sydney FC.
Gordon. Free kick shooties this time. Going to be a little bit better than what we saw not too long ago. High delivery near the edge of the box, and it will fall out to Robers. She can get some contact, but cleared by Ukekel, doing defensive work as well as her attacking ones.
Better delivery by Beth Gordon. Sydney FC players getting themselves in a bit of a mix-up, and Ukekel needing to get a touch on that. Hinds was on her way out, but Robers was free.
High delivery once again, closer. Whistle blown. Free kick, I imagine, being awarded there. A lot of players in and amongst it, so opportunity now for Sydney FC to make some substitutions. Riley Tanner to come on to replace the 15-year-old Claire Corbett. Her starting debut. What have you made of Claire Corbett? Saw a lot more of the ball in the second half, was relatively quiet in the first.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the best of Claire Corbett. I think it's been a challenging game in that first half. There wasn't a lot of possession. She likes to get on the ball, likes to be that connector between the defence and the attack. But Canberra United were really solid, getting nice and close to the Sydney FC players, so we didn't see too much of her. And I think this will be a good injection of pace and a bit of dynamic attacking from Riley Tanner. She can stay a bit further up the pitch. We've seen her in that left-hand side, wants to get forward, wants to find those pockets of space and find the opposition defence.
Tried to work it into space. Canberra, Heyman in the box once again. Took a couple of reflections. Galich, Pearson, falls to Gordon, a whipped pass straight into the feet of Hawkins, and that effort from Grove. High and away.
Yeah, unfortunate. Emma Hawkins just couldn't cushion that ball. She was in a wonderful position, could have taken that touch across her body and would have had a decent angle towards goal.
Hawksby. Brick. High boot. Hands on. Tried to play it to the feet of Pearson. Sorry, Hawkins, but picked off by Sydney. They break away quickly. Galich. Well defended initially. Will stay in the possession of the Sky Blue, so Tumeth once again high up the pitch. Grove. Tanner back across. Sasaki intercepting, but back to Tanner again. Trying to make a decision, can just see her mind ticking. Didn't know if she was going to go for a pass or a shot there. And that split second of indecision allowed Emma Robers to clean up for Canberra United. Hawkins, faintest little header over. And now it's a foot race. Heyman gets past Asen, takes a strike, and well wide.
She got herself into a good position, Michelle Heyman. We see it so many times. She gets on the shoulder of the defenders, looks for those balls in behind, cut back inside, jinked again to the right. And Asen did well defensively just to force her shot wide.
Taylor Young having to come back and defend quickly and just not on the same page that time with that cross.
Yeah, interesting to see on that right-hand side. Tori Tumeth tends to be the one to be pushing forward for Sydney FC, and Talon Henniker just kind of sits in that little pocket on the right-hand side with Jodie Ukekel in front of them. Something that, you know, we thought that Talon Henniker maybe wanted to get forward a little bit more, was trying to push on in that first half, but Sasha Grove was just getting the better of her.
Heyman might be out here, and she's dragged back. Now this will be an interesting call. And it's a red card, a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity from Kirsty Fenton. It's the second game in a row a red card has been awarded to an opposition side against Canberra United. Claudia Bunge got a red card last game. And this one, let's see the position of the other Sydney FC defenders.
That first touch from Michelle Heyman, well, a little pull on the jersey by Kirsty Fenton. She can have no argument with that. 2 weeks in a row, Canberra United. 2 weeks in a row, Michelle Heyman getting fouled. Claudia Bunge's red card was reversed. She didn't look like she was the last player, but, I mean, Talon Henniker was coming across.
She was right there. It's an interesting one because they are quite close together.
Yeah, I think that was desperation. Maybe she had all eyes on Michelle Heyman and didn't realise how close Talon Henniker was to getting across to Michelle Heyman.
So Sydney FC, after getting level, are now a player down, and Bethany Gordon with a chance to put it into the net. Holmrich, it deflects back to Gordon. Can I get a second effort? Back to Gordon. This time takes an effort, and that's easily collected. The Sydney FC now will have to regroup. And Bethany Gordon is very, very unhappy with herself.
Yeah, I don't think it was one of the best efforts. She's just having a little shake of the head. Was probably just trying to drive that ball into the left-hand side of the goal, hit the edge of the wall. I mean, it was right on the edge of the box. Sometimes it can be too close. So if you're trying to curl it or go up and over, it's a really challenging technique to be able to do that in such a short distance. So she was trying to just put her laces through it, put her foot through the ball and see if she could get it into that left-hand corner. But unfortunately, it caught the edge of the wall.
So we'll take a look at this again, Ish. What do you reckon?
Well, it was a great touch from Michelle Heyman, in all honesty, and actually she was probably ready to line up a shot if Kirsty Fenton hadn't impeded her and grabbed her jersey. Talon Henniker was on the way closer to her on that angle, defending, but the touch like across Kirsty Fenton was really clever from Michelle Heyman. I mean, she's got so much experience and, you know, drew the foul from her.
You wonder, will Sydney FC maybe appeal it? I say Heyman's touch was a little bit further forward and Talon Henniker was coming. You never know, but for the moment, they can't change it in this game. They're a player down. It is 1 goal apiece. Canberra United, they still need to score and they still need to find an answer.
I think the difference probably from last week with Claudia Bunge was the fact that Kayla Morrison for Melbourne Victory was more central, whereas this time Talon Henniker was coming from that left-hand side and Michelle Heyman pretty much had a clear view of goal. And when that, you know, it's a cynical foul. She knows what she's doing.
She had to make the foul, really.
She pulled her back, and I think that was the right decision by Michaela Ryan.
Kirsty Fenton didn't argue it, but we had a little bit of a break in play just there. Heather Hinds was getting treatment, looked like on an ankle, and ultimately provided a great opportunity for James Slavesky as well as Anthony Yagranek, but more particularly James Slavesky, a chance to talk to his team, down a player, what is going to be the shape and the structure they use for the rest of this game.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see if Tori Toomuth is making forward runs like she was previously, or whether she'll get locked back into more of a defensive position to see out the rest of this game.
Grove, Hawkins, one-on-one with Asen. Trying to use a bit of the pace. Pearson left it and cleared. But it'll stay with Canberra. Hawkins. Grove. Defended by Willa Pearson. Sydney FC able to win it back. Feels like these are the type of opportunities they're going to be left with. They got runners through the middle, a foul away from the ball. Hawkins able to switch it out. Riley Tanner there, and charging back was Hayley Taylor-Young, trying to save it from a corner. Manages to do that. Be interesting to see if we get a break of play if Michaela Ryan goes and addresses that foul off the ball. Taylor-Young. Tumeth. Mason. Hawksby. That ball perfectly over the head of Sasaki, but the touch not as good. And Talon Henniker clearing it.
Yeah, just a little nudge off the ball. Well, I don't think there was too much in that from Helmerick. She kind of got, yeah, just there was no raised arm or anything. I think she was probably trying to draw the foul as well. There was definitely contact. She was definitely trying to get in her way.
When we looked at this possession in each third in the first half, it was a lot in the attacking third for Canberra United, but it's kind of evening out a little bit more in the middle of the park. Still a lot in that attacking part of the game for Canberra, but it's evening out a little bit more possession-wise.
Yeah, and it was, you know, the change of momentum from that goal in the first half from Sydney FC. Definitely, again, it was against the run of play. I was able to just get them back on level terms.
Robers, Hinds punching it away from everybody. Bertolicio able to save it. Gordon. Bertolicio. And that pass missing everybody, and Polisino not quick enough to chase it down. And we're going to see a couple of substitutions here. It's going to be Mary Stanich-Floody and Jasmine Wardlow coming on. Stanich-Floody up against her former side. I had a chance to speak to her during the week, and she said she's really, really excited to take on her former side. You can imagine for a young player, spend a little bit of time at Sydney FC. Sasaki put in a good shift in this game. Abby Lemon's also going to come on for Sydney FC. And Emma Robers as well is the second player from Canberra who's coming off, and Kaylee Talon-Hediker is the one replaced by Abby Lemon. So, like for like with the Wardlow and Robers one, really, and there's a foul there.
Good to see the players and the referees having a little chat about that and just like explaining. I think Beth Gordon was explaining to Michaela Ryan what had happened. There was no intent there. I like seeing that. I like seeing that relationship between the players and the referees.
I don't know why the foul's given, and able to really adjust with it as well.
That's it, rather than just arguing the point all the time.
So that ball's crossed in and misses the head of Riley Tanner. So it'll be a goal kick for Sally James. It's had a quiet second half, all things considered.
Yeah, absolutely. What I would say is you can't notice the one player advantage at the moment for Canberra United.
Seems that ball took a deflection, so it will be a corner. All the numbers quite deep. Oh, they sprint to the near post. We'll have to wait and see. High delivery. Got numbers there, Sydney FC. Tumeth got the first header on it. Ball's bounced back over her head. Hawkins trying to take it away, but Abby Lemon is going to keep it locked here. It will be with Canberra. That passing accuracy was a scary start way back in this game, but now each not too bad.
Yeah, they've worked their way back into the game. I think both teams are probably would like that to be a little bit higher.
Sydney FC have responded well, particularly in the second half. Even after Kirsty Fenton has gone off, they are still trying to play, still trying to be as brave as possible, even with a player down. Lemon. Tumeth. Galich. Lucino. Grove. Heyman asking for it at her feet, but Grove just overran it and coughed up possession, and no foul called. Some hands raised, calling for it, but Sasha Grove just probably needs to be a little bit more decisive with that.
Yeah, don't mind that she cut inside, but there was no... she had two players in front of her, but there was still a big distance of any more supporting players for Sasha Grove. She was trying to make something happen, but there was no one in this wider area as well. But Sasha Grove just trying to do a little bit too much. Hawkesby did well as soon as she came inside, just coming towards the ball to win it back. But the question is now, like I said before, it doesn't look like there's a one-player advantage, does it? So, yes, Sydney FC are looking a lot more organised and compact, and they're still playing with those two players further up the pitch, and Riley Tanner just sitting in behind. And it's down to Canberra. I feel like Canberra, the distances between them, the players, has become a little bit...
Heyman has picked it off, cutting it back across. And once again, Heather Hinds quick to react and collect before a Canberra player can make any real contact. Mason, Newkeckle, Hawkesby continuing a run. That's where the ball will go. Don't have a lot of numbers centrally. Can Mackenzie Hawkesby create a bit of magic? She can't, and well defended by Liz Anton.
yeah, great ball by Asen to play from that centre-back position out to this left-hand side. There's still plenty of space in both wide channels for these teams. And just back to that point before Michelle Heyman was attacking on goal, just the distances between the Canberra players in the Sydney FC third of getting a little bit bigger compared to what they were in that first half.
Stage Floody. Pass caught amongst three. And happy to give away the corner. They are creating stuff, Sydney, they're at least trying to.
Absolutely, and that's where you need Emma Hawkins for Canberra United to actually protect possession for them. It was only Michelle Heyman.
Sophia Christopherson coming on. Sasha Grove. She's really good in the first half. A little bit less in the second half we saw of her. This one's a little flatter. Once again, Tori Tumeth rose the highest. Didn't get the cleanest contact, but it's the second corner we've seen in this game that Tumeth has been able to find the ball, or it's at least been targeted towards her. Continue with those deliveries and can get a moment as Tanner drives into the box. Hawkesby not able to turn with it, but they're continuing the possession in the box and eventually cleared. But it's really Sydney FC who are mounting on this bit of pressure. Hawkins wins it back. Olasino. Stanish Floody. This is a little bit better from Canberra. Heyman surrounded. Can she find a moment, a pocket of space? Cutting across once again. Hins has been asked to do that exact move a few times in this game and has been quick to respond. Stanish Floody and cut out by Asen.
Well, we've seen it time and time again, haven't we, with Canberra United, getting into those positions, mainly on this right-hand side, trying to play it into that near post. Emma Hawkins trying to run across Heather Hins' line of sight, and it just being cut out. There was only one Canberra player in the box, and that was Emma Hawkins. And I think that's something that, if they want to try and see out these games, they're getting into good positions, then some of the other midfielders need to start committing to runs forward, getting into the 18 and 6-yard box.
Lemon. Hawkesby calling for it back. Kekel. Americans had to work hard in this game. She takes a strike and took a deflection on the way through and not able to be saved. So another corner for Sydney FC. Seeing Tori Tumeth, the highest to rise at that far post. Got contact the first time, second time, it just skipped over her head. Can they find it this time? Can third time be the luck? Tanner. Driving delivery. The deliveries have been good from these corners. They're inviting somebody to make contact. This time it falls for Canberra. Outside. Casino. And that's a heavy touch from Sophia Christopherson.
That's where it's breaking down for Canberra United, isn't it? I mean, it was, as you say, good delivery into the box for that corner. They've transitioned out. And as soon as it's getting into Sydney FC's half, and they're just not able to keep possession. I mean, the final third entries is still heavily in Canberra's favour, but we talk about it, turning those opportunities into goals. And if the score stays the same here, I think they'll be very frustrated that Sydney FC went a player down and they weren't able to capitalise on that either. And that's credit to Sydney FC. I definitely think they look more organised. They're still committing players forward as well. So they're taking a little bit more of a risk and And I think that's what Canberra United need to do. Need to commit more players forward. They've got the one player advantage.
It's something that I'd say Anthony Jagrenek was very aware of, the quality still of the players that Sydney FC have. They are, as a team, may not be necessarily be playing well, but the likes of Bianca Galich and Mackenzie Hawkesby, they are still incredibly talented players who can create stuff and really put the pressure on. We've been seeing Mackenzie Hawkesby get on the ball a lot more in the last 10 minutes as well. So they need to be really, really mindful. Stanish Floody, high, deep delivery. Waterloo gets her head to it and it's out of play.
Yeah, Anthony Jagrenek, before Beth Gordon came over, he didn't look very happy. He was kind of doing a sweeping motion with his arm, which to me, you know, having a guess is like, let's get further up the pitch. I think the distance between the defensive line and the attacking line needs to be smaller, which means that the defenders and the midfielders need to get further up the pitch, because Heyman is isolated at the moment, as well as Hawkins.
Talked about in the halftime break, the Women's Asian Cup coming, which is fantastic. It's going to be really exciting, but it also means that we're going to have a break in play in the A-League Women's. And it's so crucial, particularly with the way the ladder is sitting, for teams to get a good bit of momentum with a massive break to set themselves up. Can Canberra get themselves a goal here? And headed away for the moment, but they'll get a second effort at it. Canberra. Hawkins. High looping ball out of play. But Ish, how crucial is it, particularly for a team like Canberra, who are trying to fight for the premiership, to get some momentum into that break?
Yeah, it is crucial, but it's hard to then build momentum. I mean, what you do have is a lot of time on the training pitch to work on things, to do it over and over again. How you maintain that high intensity, match level intensity throughout that period of the Asian Cup, I'm assuming, you know, you play friendly matches and try and get that in, but it's different when you're in that environment rather than when you're turning up week in, week out, trying to get 3 points. So it'll be interesting to see how each of the teams, whether they come back with a few different tactics, whether they look at working on things, changing things up a little bit. But yeah, it's, I think, really important that it could be a really good freshen up for a lot of the players as well, especially the teams that have been doing a lot of travel over the course of the season.
Holmberg just losing the ball for the moment, but won it back. I believe Canberra United, their plans are hopefully to stay together. Maybe Michelle Heyman might not be involved if she's selected into that Asian Cup group, but they are planning on staying together and playing some friendlies either against some boys teams or some of the other female girls teams in the NPL as well.
Which is great, and which is what you need to do, but it's still not playing in the Ninja A-League. So there's still, you know, a little bit of a difference between that. And when you're not going out, you know, friendlies are great and you want that intensity and you want to work on the tactical things that you've done on the training pitch. However, the biggest difference is you're not playing for the points.
So Sienna Dale, 19 coming on. Did she make an attacking change to this side? They seem to have just lost a little bit of momentum. Emma Hawkins has had to work really, really hard in this game and was starting to look a little bit fatigued. But Sienna Dale to freshen up a little bit for Canberra United with under 10 minutes to go. Stanage Floody. Likes to go for goal and on target, but comfortable save.
Yeah, right thing to do. Lining up, we've seen Stanage Floody score some absolute cracker goals. It was in definitely her shooting distance then. She's kind of had a little look over to where her teammates were, but had really the focus on trying to curl that ball out and around into the corner. But Heather Hinds was up to the task and read it really well.
Christopherson driving, skips past Ukeckel. Ukeckel regained the position she needed. Stanage Floody curling, and once again, catching practice for Heather Hinds. Lemon. Hasn't been clean possession here for either side. Now Heyman. Got some numbers in the box. That's where it goes, and Asen able to head it away. And this may be a great opportunity. Sky Holmrich, Jasmine Wardlow able to chase her down, and Holmrich taking the strike and easily saved in the end by Sally James, but needed some really good defensive work to catch up.
Yeah, it was great defending by Wardlow. She didn't commit to the tackle. She just allowed Halmerick to keep running out, knew that she could catch up to her, knew that she was taking her away from goal. So she kind of had a little arm on her for a little bit and then pulled back. It was very smart defending from Wardlow, and then forced Halmerick into that shot from such a wide area and so far out. A bit of a Hail Mary shot, I think. Try and come up with a big moment late in this game.
Sienna Dale, can she cut it across? Sophia Christopherson was calling for it. She was further away and wanted to go for the near post. Sienna Dale.
Yeah, she did really well. Just used her pace. She's got fresh legs, got around Tori Toomuth, but that wasn't the right decision. The right decision was to cut that ball back across goal. Christopherson was there at the far post, would have had plenty of time. But nice and positive from Sienna Dale, but just that final decision lacking.
Going to see a substitution, so it's the final outfield player available to James Silvesky. Amber Luchtmeyer is going to come on for Jodie Ukekel to put in a shift today. So all those players that Riley Tanner, Abby Lemon and Luchtmeyer, who started last week, that got moved to the bench, they've all going to get an opportunity here to try and be a difference maker. We saw in that Melbourne victory Newcastle game yesterday, Jeff Hopkins made the decision to drop Holly Furphy and Alana Janchevsky, and they both came on and scored some important goals. Well, Janchevsky's goal was taken away, and there's the net! And a great finish! Mary Stanich-Floody up against her former side. The distance was no problem. And what a great strike.
Well, we see it time and time again from Stanich-Floody. She's just sneaking around on the edge of the area. Lovely ball across. Gets a little rebound and then just hits it with her left foot. A bit of luck there for that rebound off Tori Toomuth. Sorry, Abby Lemon. And then first time strike into that far bottom corner against her former team. She'll be really happy with that. Heather Hins, disappointed, distraught. She wasn't able to get to that down low to her left. But what a wonderful strike from Stanich-Floody.
A beautiful strike. She was excited to face her former side. And what a way to announce yourself. So why'd you guys get rid of me? I can score from anywhere. Taylor Young. Timely challenge. But they had to be patient, Canberra United. Sydney FC, for all of, losing a player and being down a goal at the start of this game, for a while, they had a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of, the momentum has shifted. It was pretty even. I think Sydney FC have done really well with the player down. Stanich-Floody, she had the first shot with the right foot, came off Lemon, and then put it away with her left.
Yeah, Stanich-Floody. High looping effort. Stays in. Olasino cutting it back. Gordon teeing herself up. Deflected out to Stanich-Floody. So calm, unfazed, just late in this game, what a moment to take.
Yeah, it was the fact that she had the first go with her right foot, was trying to curl it into the same corner where she scored. Came off Abby Lemon, and then she decided to just hit it with her left foot. First time, kept it low, kept it nice and controlled as well. And away down and to the bottom corner away from Heather Hins. Difficult for her to save.
Heather Hins has been saving everything in this game, basically. Really kept Sydney FC in this contest. Now can Sydney FC respond? like they did in the first half. They're running out of time, that's for sure. But if Canberra United able to hold on, a really important 3-point stake, keep in touch with Melbourne City, who are leading against Brisbane Roar at the moment. And they'll be on 24 points, sitting in 3rd place. So really ensuring, having to keep Melbourne City, Wellington Phoenix honest with the way they play and creating distance with those teams below them as well.
Yeah, this will be a big result, just talking about, you know, converting those chances. It's 23 shots on goal for Canberra United. Only 8 on target. You know, they're getting there or thereabouts, but even trying to convert the amount of shots into shots on target, I mean, there's so many positives in that they're getting into the final third. We've seen how many crosses in those wide areas, how well they've been doing that, and now it's just that final piece of the puzzle.
Dale able to take a touch away. What's the decision going to be here? And it's going, I believe, to the penalty spot. Hinz is still down on the ground. Sienna Dale was the one who won the penalty ultimately, but Hinz is not in a good way. She's going to be awarded a yellow card as well for her efforts. It's getting from bad to worse.
Oh, look at that pace from Sienna Dale. Hinz equally up to the task, just that final touch. And you knew Sienna Dale was trying to get that touch. Hinz had to commit to it. Wasn't able to get anything on the ball.
It's an easy decision, really. Probably just a little unlucky that she was still in the box when she made contact.
Yeah, it was a close one, wasn't it? And who's stepping up? Mary Stanich-Floody.
A chance at a double for the substitute. Can she make it a 3rd for the side? Saved by Hinz. She gave the penalty, but the woodwork may have been there, part of it as well.
Yep, hit the woodwork, the side of the pole. Stanich-Floody. Hinz had guessed the right way. I think she probably had it covered anyway. Went down low to Hinz's right-hand side, but not able to convert. And now still 1 goal in front, Canberra United, but there's still 4 minutes of additional time to play.
Is that kind of a confidence boost? They're still down, but can it spark a little bit of life into you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you think just a little bit of luck would help, and then maybe the momentum can change.
Bertolicio taking her time. Asen, quick to react, will clear it long, and now it's a foot race. They have to be mindful, Canberra. Will stay up here for Sydney FC. They're going to move quickly. Holmrick, stay with Sydney. Oh, they rue that missed penalty. Tanner Hawkesby, Galich, Pearson, Hawkesby, Galich. We know she can shoot from a long way out. Thought about it for the moment, but straight into the feet of Bethany Gordon, who's just going to try and play it out. Michelle Heyman, experienced veteran's going to slow it down, keep possession, take her time. Dale to Heyman, and just immediately taking the sting out of the game and just slowing it right down.
Yep, right thing to do. The hardest way to score is by keeping the ball off the opposition. So they've still got the numerical advantage, Canberra United. They've got an additional player, so they need to make the most of it for the last few minutes of this game.
Cleared, will stay with Canberra.
This is where it's crucial. We talk about game management, particularly in these latter stages, where it's all about making good decisions, staying calm, staying composed.
And it's just perfect for Sydney. Getting possession quickly. That ball looked like it was rolling still, and it certainly was, so it'll go straight back. Will Mary Stanic-Flood's goal be the thing that separates these two teams? Instant impact from the sub. Up against her former side. Heyman watchful over it. Sienna Dale now. She'll just keep possession. Finding Taylor Young. Dribbles past one. Cuts it across. Took a bit of a bobble. Back to Taylor Young. Tried to find that pass to Stanic-Flood, who was waiting. Dale. Cut out by Riley Tanner, who's just going to go for a run. Doesn't have a lot of options and teammates in support, but gets past the second. Now the pass is available. That's where it goes. Sky Holmrich, can she get the second pass? Stolen off her feet just before she was about to shoot. Riley Tanner almost made something out of nothing.
Yeah, some tense moments in this last minute of the game. Sydney FC really do have to just commit as many numbers forward as possible.
Tanner looks offside for a moment, but play will continue. Holmrich! What a save by James. Hasn't had a lot to do all game. It stepped up in a big moment, but it will be another corner for Sydney FC.
Wow, what a strike, Holmrich. Forcing Sally James just to have to tip it over the bar. Riley Tanner's taking her time here.
2-2 method's been the target a few times. Can they get the right delivery? This one is not the best. He will stay. We'll find Tumeth. Not in the way they initially would have liked, probably. And not enough time. Mary Stanic-Flood's goal is what separates the two sides. The former Sydney FC player. They had to dig in, Canberra United. They got the initial goal from Bethany Gordon. Then a response from Madison Asen. Second half came. Kirsty Fenton was sent off. But Mary Stanic-Flood coming on to make the difference, Ish.
Yeah, it was a wonderful finish from Mary Stanic-Flood. Left-footed strike that she had on the ball. And I think a well-deserved win for Canberra United.
Ultimately, and a well-deserved 3 points, an important 3 points in the context of their season. Keeps them in touch. But at full time here at Leichhardt Oval, it's Sydney FC 1, Canberra United 2. Alish, Bethany Gordon's goal feels like such a long time ago now.
Yeah, it was some really good build-up play by Canberra United down that right-hand side. A lovely 1-2 with Grove and Michelle Heyman. A ball across the 6-yard box. Tori Tumeth just couldn't get a good connection on it to clear it, and it fell to Bethany Gordon at the far post, and that was well-deserved by Canberra United at that time. They had the bulk of possession. They were really causing Sydney FC problems, and then this free kick, a bit of confusion. Anton taking out Sally James. Madison Asen then knocking it into an empty net to get them back on level terms.
And then they had to wait a long, long time. But this was something that you thought it was going to give Canberra a massive boost, but ultimately it took them a little while to keep going.
Yeah, Kirsty Fenton, just a little tug of the jersey for Michelle Heyman.